There's always a recognition of the strong private property, ethic in Texas. But that didn't really, at least I didn't really see it until later when the Endangered Species Act issues kind of came to a head in Texas. And that, for me, was when I was working for Governor Richards. And it was in that time that the Barton Springs salamander was listed, I think, as an endangered species. And then we had the bird issues here with the black-capped vireo and the golden-cheeked warbler, and decisions made by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service about whether those species would be listed, and if so, what that meant. And all that kind of came to a head when the newspaper published a map of what critical habitat might look like in Central Texas for the golden-cheeked warbler. And it came out in the San Antonio newspaper, and all hell broke loose because there were 33 counties listed on this map. And the spin was that basically development would be shut down in those 33 counties and people's lands would be taken away. And that sort of launched the Take Back Texas private property wars. Now, there were, I'm sure, groups before that, but that's when it became so public and so strident and so difficult. And it's sort of, I'm trying to sort of piece this together in my mind. Certainly with regard to the bird species and the cave beetles, Fish and Wildlife Service made those assessments, published in the Federal Register that these were endangered species, and or took comment on that. And suddenly every politician in the state was embroiled in this because of the private property rights reaction to it. And for some of those people, I believe it provided sort of this great opportunity to push that movement and get lots of attention. I think it had less to do with protecting birds than about sort of having this sudden sort of softball to swing at. And even in the governor's office, it was brutal. It really was. And we found ourselves trying to work with, again, I'm in the governor's office now, trying to work with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to just meet the needs of the federal law without completely squashing, I guess, local development. And just to sort of keep the parties, I don't know, in the same room. But it was very controversial. It became a campaign issue. Anyone who was here, I think, probably has a different memory of it, but it was very tough. The outcome of it, though, I think is good because Austin became one of the first cities to do a regional habitat conservation plan, the BCP, Balcones Canyonlands Preserve, and now that almost 30,000 acres is the green space in Central Texas. And the birds are still with us. I hope they survive forever, but certainly that green space is there that everybody gets to enjoy.